Hello, everyone. My name is Kenneth, and I am a movie geek. And welcome to the channel. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So, next month we are getting the highly anticipated sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie with Super Mario Galaxy. And yes, to be honest, it does look really good, and I am excited to see it. So, full disclaimer: I'm not a huge fan of the games. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I just haven't played that many games of and it's been a while because the last game from the franchise that I played was back in the GameCube. And my knowledge of the Mario games and lore is very limited, so but I want to talk about this movie because if I review Super Mario Galaxy, some people will ask me, what do I think of the first one? And before you ask me, yes, I have it on 4K right here. I know my lighting is shit. I need to fix it. But yeah, it's right here. It's a pretty cool 4K. I'm glad that I own it. So, what are my thoughts on this film? Now, before getting into my thoughts with about the Super Mario Brothers movie, I want to talk about the Super Mario Brothers. I mean, the movie from the 90s. And I saw it like not even a month ago. Um, like through Yo Ho memes, if you know what I mean. And as a Mario movie,
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
yeah, like even if you're not a fan of the games, it's not Mario.
Who the hell are you?
Why, your grandma, of course.
All right, fine. I guess we're doing this.
But as a movie,
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, it's fun. I liked it. I mean, I really liked the way the movie looked, the vibe and the aesthetic. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo weren't that bad. I thought they were pretty good in the movie. Although their age gap made them look more like father and son than actual brothers. And I feel like the reason it's hated is because it marketed itself as a Mario movie when yeah, it's not a Mario movie. Like even if you're not a Mario fan, you're like this isn't a Mario movie. I feel like if it was completely unrelated to the franchise and it was just like another 90s sci-fi movie, I think it would have been better received. Although it does have a cult following and I think it has a comic sequel which I would have to check out. But again, if you want my full thoughts, let me know. Should I make a video about the 90s one? But yeah, the 90s Mario movie was such a colossal box office bomb that Nintendo didn't license any of their properties to film studios for like 3 decades. I think the first movie they licensed to a studio was Detective Pikachu, which I thought it was pretty good, all things considered, which I should review it one day. I do want to make a couple of reviews based on video games just to because we're having some video game adaptations between Mario and Mortal Kombat, but I'm getting off track. But yeah, when they announced that they were making a Mario movie, my reaction was, and it's not because I wasn't a fan, it's just the studio that Nintendo picked, Illumination. You see, their movies can range from fun, entertaining, but forgettable movies to plain garbage. And I was like, really? Illumination? I mean, it didn't have to be Disney, but even if they wanted to work with Universal, I'm like, what's wrong with going with DreamWorks? I'm like, Universal owns DreamWorks, but at the same time I get why they picked Illumination. I mean, their movies are always profitable. I don't think any of Illumination's movies has bombed at the box office, but yeah, it seemed like a very safe pick. And the thing is, Illumination is known for giving us some of the safest kids movies like ever. And I'm not saying every family movie needs to be a groundbreaking tearjerker. It's just sometimes their movies can just feel very safe to the point where kids might like it, but adults might be checked out halfway through. So yeah, the fact that they had Illumination didn't really have me teeming with hope. And then they announced the casting, which, don't get me wrong, there were good choices like Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, and my favorite, Jack Black as Bowser, but The one casting choice that everyone was like, what were they thinking? Was Chris Pratt as Mario. And I get they wanted big names to promote the movie, but again, similar to how Illumination seemed like a very safe choice for this movie, Chris Pratt just seemed like a very safe choice to star as Mario. So the movie felt like it was going to be a very safe kids movie. That was until the movie actually came out. Originally scheduled to be released in December of 2022, the film was delayed to April of 2023, likely to avoid competition with Avatar The Way of Water, which, don't get me wrong, I think Mario would have done well enough against Avatar, but it probably wouldn't have done as much money as it did in its April release. And despite receiving mixed reviews, which it is 1 point shy of getting a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was well received with audiences, especially fans of the games, and it made a shit ton of money. Like it made $1.3 billion, and it became the highest grossing animated movie of 2023 and the second highest grossing movie of 2023 behind Barbie, which I haven't seen yet.
What?
Now, I did manage to see the movie on its second week, and despite not being a huge fan of the games, I was curious to see it because from the trailers, it looked like it was going to be at least entertaining. And when I saw it, I left the theater satisfied. I mean, it wasn't my favorite animated movie of 2023. If you're wondering, my favorite animated movie of 2023 was Across the Spider-Verse. But in the years that followed, I've seen this movie like countless times. Like I think this was like my 10th viewing. Yes, I've seen this movie a lot of times. And I might go as far as to say this might be Illumination's best movie. We'll see if Super Mario Galaxy tops it, but for now this is Illumination's best movie. To start with, the animation. This movie looks incredible and very faithful to the source material. The character models seem like they were ripped straight from the games. The film has a very vivid and colorful palette that makes the movie more appealing to the eye. And I would recommend calibrating the movie appropriately, because the movie can sometimes look way too bright, especially if you have it on like vivid or bright settings, which I do not recommend. But if your TV has filmmaker mode, it'll do the trick. But yeah, if you have this movie on 4K, I would say calibrate it well, because there are some times where the movie, if you have it calibrated poorly, it can look a bit too burned. And yeah, it doesn't look like your standard Illumination movie. It looks more like the games, and I feel like the idea of making Mario an animated movie works better than making it live action. As much as I love the Sonic movies, I think an animated form would have worked better also for Sonic. So yeah, I do think making Mario an animated movie worked.
Is it too much?
Too much? It's a perfect!
And speaking about the boys cast, for the most part, I think Chris Pratt was decent as Mario.
That's a little mushroom man talking to.
Could have they brought back the original voice actor? Yeah, but I get why they cast Chris Pratt, given that he is a big name. And as it stands, he doesn't do a bad job as Mario. And in fact, I am glad he didn't do the accent, because let's be real, it would have gotten old kind of quick. And Anya Taylor-Joy, which I think is a very gorgeous woman, was also very good as Princess Peach. I thought her voice was sweet enough to fit the character.
You? He's a human! I mean, you are a human, right? It's just, you're so small.
Hey!
Wait.
And I did like that they try to make her more a character rather than just a generic damsel in distress. Although I did see some people saying like, oh, they turned her into a girl boss.
Shut the fuck up!
Guys, must I do this? Must I talk about this? It feels like every time a female character isn't a damsel in distress or just stands up for herself for once, these guys are like, oh, they're turning this character into a girl boss, or oh, they're trying to appeal to feminist activists.
Alright, P13, you win the crying contest.
I'm like, oh my god, like, oh my god. And to be honest, I didn't think there was anything that was pandering to the woke crowd.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up!
God, I fucking hate that word. But yeah, they try to make her a more involved character rather than a damsel in distress, which to me, it worked. But to me, the best casting choices were obviously Charlie Day as Luigi.
That is not a commercial. That is cinema.
He was perfect casting for the role of Luigi. And if there was a celebrity that fit the character, it was him. He was just tailor-made for Luigi. He brings out the timidness and he also brings out the clumsiness of Luigi, which, yeah, I'm like, if there was a perfect casting, it was Charlie Day as Luigi and also Jack Black. Like, who doesn't love Jack Black? He was amazing as Bowser, and he was just sinister in a comical way, but he was also, there were moments that he was insecure and kind of adorable.
I guess love really makes a guy come out of his shell.
And also, that scene where he is singing that song, Peaches, 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 which, yeah, I'm not going to play that clip because I want to avoid a copyright strike. But yeah, that scene was well worth the admission price alone. And Keegan-Michael Key, he usually has a very recognizable voice, but I didn't really recognize him. Like, it took me searching who voiced Toad to figure out that it was Keegan-Michael Key because he sounded unrecognizable.
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine.
And to be honest, speaking of other celebrity voice actors, Seth Rogen wasn't that bad as Donkey Kong.
No, man. He fucking killed him, man! Jeez, I got neighbors. He fucking killed him!
For the few lines that he has, he is pretty good as Donkey Kong. And another thing that I did appreciate this movie for doing is that it walks the fine line of appealing to fans, but also making sure people who aren't familiar with the games don't feel left out. Because there are a ton of references that longtime fans will recognize and have their Leonardo DiCaprio moment. But the movie also does a good job appealing to people that aren't that familiar with the source material. Which, yeah, you don't have to be an expert on the Mario lore to understand what's going on. Like, you can, even if you've never played a Mario game, you can watch this movie and understand everything that's going on. Which is something that I like because, yes, for an adaptation, it's good to appeal to fans. But it's also good to have non-fans be interested because maybe if they're not familiar with the source material and they see the adaptation, they're like, oh, I'm very interested in this adaptation. Maybe I should check out the source material. That's how you gain new fans also. And also the movie has a lot of great humor that had me smiling the whole way through. I do like that it doesn't have your standard Illumination toilet humor like this fucking scene.
Guys, I found treats!
Oh, man.
Oh god, like, even looking it up makes me want to throw up. Like, seriously, Illumination, what were you thinking? But yeah, I'm getting off topic again. I don't know how faithful this is to the games. Again, I haven't played the games that much. But I feel like Nintendo was closely monitoring the process of the film. And from what I know, they had final say over everything in the filmmaking process. So, yes, it does look like Nintendo was like, yeah, we are going to have final say on everything. Which makes sense because Shigeru Miyamoto was a producer in the film. As for issues that I have with the film, I would say the pacing is a little too quick. Like, I get the movie has a sense of urgency and that there's not a single scene that feels like we're wasting time. But there were points where the pacing could feel very breakneck speed, and the audience doesn't get that much room to breathe. Like, there's barely a moment where you feel like you can breathe because everything's going out way too quickly. And also, the movie can sometimes over-rely on popular songs. I'm glad they didn't use 2023 popular songs because that would have been cringy. And I do like that they use classic songs from the 80s and 90s, but at the same time, it feels like Illumination had final say over the soundtrack. I feel like that was one of the few things Illumination had final say. So, overall, even as a non-Mario fan, I can say I do enjoy the film. It is a very entertaining and very accessible adaptation. I do want to check out the sequel once it comes out. It comes out on April 1st, which is funny that it comes out on April Fool's, but it's a comedy. I will allow it. But I don't know if I'll see it opening date given how fucking crowded it'll be. But before you ask, yes, I do want to get a Switch one day and play the games. In fact, I do want to get a Switch before next year to, play the Legend of Zelda games because we're getting a Legend of Zelda movie next year. And I do want to be familiar with the source material before that one. But yeah, I feel like with Super Mario Bros., I feel like fans and non-fans will enjoy it. Is it the best video game movie? That's debatable. Personally, I prefer the Sonic movies. But it is still a fun movie. So I would give the Super Mario Brothers movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, which I feel is fair. It's entertaining. It'll satisfy both fans and people who aren't familiar with the source material. And I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, those were my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. Let me know down in the comments. Have you played the games and which one is your favorite? And also, once I get a Switch, which one should I play first? So yeah, let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I do have a lot of videos planned for the future. I want to go full steam ahead on this channel. And yeah, if you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on my social media. The links will be on the description. Also follow me on Letterboxd. I also post reviews for older and newer releases. They're not full in-depth reviews, but they're my basic thoughts. But yeah, make sure you follow me in my social media and my Letterboxd. And also, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Kenneth out.